Peace. Welcome to Fresh CONVOS Season 2. Today, my guest is Asakiwi. Say what's up.
What's happening? What's going on? Thank you for having me.
Yo,
it's
man.
A pleasure. This is a reunion.
This man right here, it's a pleasure having because, I've known him. I haven't seen him. We haven't seen each other for 20 years.
20-some odd years.
20 years. That's
over 25 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm very honored to have you here, and it's just this is gonna be great, man. And I know a lot of people, a lot of amphibians are gonna be excited about this, and we're just happy to have you.
Oh man, I wish I would have got the memo. I would have put on my Seed. I love Seed.
Yeah, I got the Seed popular joint on.
Yeah, I would have put on my Seed shirt.
It's all right. Your shirt matches with my logo.
Right.
Okay. It's all right. All right. So what we usually do is in Fresh Combos, our very first question is simply, where are you from?
Where am I from? Born in Queens, New York, raised in Hempstead, Long Island.
Wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you're a New Yorker.
Oh yeah. Through and through.
Okay.
Through and through.
And so when we met you in DC, right?
Mm-hmm.
What were you doing in DC?
I was going to Howard University.
Okay.
Yeah. I was a Howard. I'm a Howard alum, and so I was in school.
Oh, that's great, man. Mm-hmm. That's great. So do you remember the very first song you heard that inspired you to sort of do what you're doing today? There's that one song that hits you and be like, okay, I want to contribute something to this.
Well, see, I can't say a song that put me in the music business, but that quote unquote line of when did you fall in love with hip hop?
Right.
would be it's two groups. Of course, it's hip hop, hip hop, and then it's my favorite group was the Funky Four plus one.
Plus one, yes.
Yeah, Chirac.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I fell in love. I was obsessed with that song. It maybe was 7 to 10 minutes long, and that one I played it over and over and over. So that was when I go back in my mind. That is one of my first memories of really, you grow up listening to music, but right. Then really diving in and falling in love with it and being obsessed with it was Funky 4 plus 1.
Wow, that's amazing. Chirac.
Yeah.
When I first heard them, I was dropped. I was like, what?
Yeah. When I think back, yeah.
That's awesome. So we're gonna take it back a bit. We met in DC.
Yeah.
And obviously you said that you went to Howard during that time. And that was an unforgettable era on U Street.
Yeah, it was magical.
I mean, can you tell us how you met Tony Blackman? And what was your thoughts on Freestyle Union, the development of that? I know you were with Tony Blackman then when she was developing Freestyle Union.
Okay, I don't remember meeting her. We were in school. We both went at Howard University, and I don't remember what came first or second. I think she created a hip hop ensemble poetry group.
Okay.
Hip hop arts movement. And I joined that. I have terrible stage fright, right? And so in order to go combat that, I joined her performance poetry group, and we did performances on campus, and then we went around to different schools and we performed. And so I want to say that's the first encounter with Tony. And then as she started to evolve and do more things in the culture, I just gravitated to whatever she was doing. And so she eventually started to do the freestyle ciphers, and I gravitated towards that. Now, I'm not an artist, I'm not a rapper, I'm not, but I always was drawn to that energy.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's dope. That's really dope. Even though, like, did you ever think about doing it?
No, like you think about, like, I wish I could. When I would sit back and see you guys, and I was like, I wish I could do that, but I can't. And so what I can do is the stuff around it.
Yes.
I'm good at planning and organizing and marketing. And so, but I just want to be in the space of you guys. And
right,
so
right.
That's what I loved.
Nah, that's really dope. Just to, like, just to be there and just take all the energy there. I mean, my experience with Freestyle Union, it was crazy because there were a lot of MCs, and I mean, you could say there's a lot of MCs, but there were a lot of dope MCs.
No.
It's like, oh
No,
my gosh, what did I get myself into?
Yeah, we didn't know what we had. It was a magical experience. It's like when you look back at the super groups like Wu-Tang, NWA, it's like Freestyle Union was that. Without the notoriety, without the hype, without all the attention, but there were phenomenal talents that were there. And I used to just sit back and I'd be in awe every week. That's why I kept coming back. Cause I'm like, how do you do, like, you think that to be a singer, you have to be born with that gift? For me, I look at MCing, that's a gift.
Right.
Like, cause I can't do it. I can't just think off the top of my head and start give me a topic. I'm like, how do you all do that? And so I was just like in awe, and I just wanted to be around it.
Right, right. Nah, that was a perfect time.
Mm-hmm.
U Street. Do you remember? You remember U Street, right?
Of course.
What are your? Do you have any U Street memories that you keep with you?
I mean, U Street again. It's. I went down there. When was I in DC last? Maybe last year during the pandemic, and I couldn't even. I don't even recognize U Street. like, like it's a different place. Like, yeah. I mean, it's artistic. That, like, that was the creative space. That was, if you wanted to get some culture and get to see different people. It was the cross section of urban, and then you had Georgetown on the other side, and so people used to just intermingle. I loved U Street.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, during that era, well, not now. Like, I know it's changed. I visited there and didn't recognize it.
Now, where are you? Where are you? Where do you live?
I live in Brooklyn now.
Oh, so you're in New York? Okay.
Yes, I'm in New York. Okay. I was overseas for a little bit. Well, actually, for not even a little bit, for like 10 years. I was in the Philippines and Asia, so doing my thing there. But yeah, definitely back. Yeah, so I did visit U Street one of those times when I went back to the States, and Zach Aquaman, or Slim Cat, his name, he took me around. And we were driving through U Street, and I didn't even recognize anything. All I saw was Ben Chilibin, and I was like, "Oh wait, we're at U Street." He was just like, "Yep, look at this. Look how much it's changed." I was like, "Oh my gosh."
Yeah, it's a different world there. Like, I don't even recognize.
But I'm glad that you got to experience during that time when you were in DC that, like, you found. I mean, it's to find hip hop in DC. U Street, if you don't know about U Street, then you didn't really, like, I say that, because there wasn't a lot of, of course there was go go and stuff like that, all the other stuff that was out there. But it seemed like U Street held a lot of hip hop shows there.
Yeah.
It's just
And,
like
and
that.
I want to say, was that the time that we were all there, was that the first generation of
Yeah,
hip hop there? There was no one
there was
before.
no one before that. I don't
Wow.
think so. It's like, so Tony brought something, then you had Infinite Loop, then you had all these other cats just keep on performing there. But DC artists or DMV artists, I must say, so it's like a hub. And you would
Yeah.
feel that when you go there. Like I guess like when you introduce someone that hasn't been on U Street at that time, they would feel sort of that energy because there was a lot going on at that time. It was very special. Too bad it didn't it's
But I
not
mean,
lasting.
but like anything,
Things change.
everything has its moment and its time.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
it's like ocean. It's fluid. It just moves. But we were just fortunate to be there and to meet one another all in that space.
yeah, definitely. Definitely. So you worked in the music industry for quite a while.
Hmm.
Do you mind telling us what your role is?
Still, I am the senior vice president of publicity at Atlantic Records.
There you go.
What does that entail? I'm a publicist.
Publicist.
I'm a publicist, yeah.
So you've worked with a lot of artists. Well, off the top of the head, who have you proudly worked with?
Well, currently, my roster is Corday, YB and Namir, Trey Songz, Tank, Kaylani, Uzi, Wiz Khalifa, Ray Shayanis,
Wow.
OT Genesis. I'm sure I'm forgetting people. And then people that I've worked through the years, Brandy, Aaliyah,
Mm-hmm.
Twista, Ti, Nappy Roots,
Amazing.
Sean Paul, Elephant Man, Wayne Wonder,
Mhm.
on and on and on and on and on. Yeah, decades and
How does
decades.
it feel, working in the business of with those artists that you mentioned? How does it feel like, being a part of their successes?
Yeah, it's wonderful. It's like to be in the music business, you have to love it. You have to
Right,
have a
right, right.
or it's not a just business that you just roll into and say, "Oh, I'm going to do this today." You really have to have a passion and a deep love, And I always say, a lot of people that work in the business, they secretly wanted to be artists themselves. That's what drew them inside the business end of it. But yeah, it's I love being able to work with an artist, and especially starting with someone from scratch and nobody knows them, and they're introducing them to the world, and then they blow up and then they become this household name. And just starting with them from start one and
Right,
seeing them rise and ascend, there's nothing like that.
right, right. And definitely you have to have an open mind.
Yeah.
There's a lot of music snobs out there.
I
Like,
mean,
man,
yeah, yeah,
they don't
yeah.
sound like Wu-Tang. Like, nah, man.
Yeah, yeah. Until the artist blows up, nobody sounds like them, and then they blow up, and then everyone sounds like that person.
Wow,
You know.
amazing. And you've been doing it for a long time, right? How many years?
Yeah. Over 25 years.
Over 25 years
Yeah.
since the last time I saw you.
Yeah. Yeah, straight out of Howard.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to Howard to Atlantic.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, there were a few spots in between in terms of interning.
Mhm.
But first job was Atlantic.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
I'm what you call an anomaly.
Yes.
Yes.
And I believe you. Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Yes, you are. Where does the name Asakiwi come from?
I know that's the number one question people ask me. Like, what is that name on your
Yeah,
social? And how do you pronounce it? It's pronounced as a kiwi.
As a
And
kid.
it's a funny name. It's a family name. It's a name that my father wanted to name me when I was born. You know, I'm of Caribbean descent, and they normally pull names from other people or family or somebody that was of African descent. And my father just loved. He was maybe a doctor as a Kiwi, something. He liked that name. He's oh, I'm going to name my son. My second son after that, and my mom was like, no. And so it's always been around. Like I've always heard the story of that was supposed to be your name. And so as I got older and social media came about,
Right.
it's funny. Everything was taken. My government name is Sydney. And so everything, Sydney this and Sydney that, was taken. You couldn't find it anywhere on socials. So I said, I wonder as a Kiwi. I said, I bet you no one has that name. So I typed it in and it was like, boom, available. So I said, oh, okay. I'll just put this on all my socials.
Right.
You know, and
that's great. You were blessed with okay, so you were supposed to be blessed with that name. I understand your mom saying no because you imagine.
Yeah, I mean, we all have family,
and then they're like trying to like pronounce your name and be
like,
you're like,
yeah. I mean, I had the easier one. What my father wanted to name my older brother was, you ready for this? Abubakar Tafawa Balewu. That was
wow.
My brother, and he said I was supposed to be as a Kiwi. So yeah, my mother was like, no and no.
Yeah, that I mean, what's dope about that is that you could still use the name, and your brother could still use his name if he wants to.
Yeah, nah.
I mean, that's a bit long, but like
yeah,
it's a bit long, but yeah, man. Nah, that's a great story, man. I mean, it all makes sense, and you could actually, I mean, thank goodness for social media. You can use aliases, and you can, and some of these aliases have meaning to it. So your name definitely has meaning to it.
Right.
I mean, yes, I understand. Like when I told you before we started this interview, like, yo, how do you pronounce your name?
Right.
Because I don't want to mess it up, man.
I get it all the time.
You want to get it right, and you'd be like, if you mess up your name, it's just like, So yeah, that's a great story, man. So yeah, learn that social media name, but like it was meant to be Sydney's name.
Yeah.
So now it is Sydney's name.
Yeah, I've embraced it.
That's great. Okay, what is CGM? SGM. Sorry.
Okay, that's another thing.
All right, CGM, SGM.
SGM. Well, my name is Sydney George Margetson. That's my name.
Okay.
And so I started to do a lot of fitness and become healthy and take care of my health. And so I started posting a lot of fitness stuff on my socials, and it started to overwhelm my feed. So I said, you know what? Let me separate the two, my interests and then my fitness journey. And so I said, okay, let me create a separate Instagram for fitness. What do I call it? So I belong to a run group that's called Lean, Strong, Fast, a team of runners. And it was the three names. So I said, oh, maybe I'll keep within that theme. And I was just, when you're searching and trying to put in different names and nothing is working. And so I said, oh, let me try. I said, maybe some play off my name, Sydney Fitness or Sydney. I said, start, go, move. You first got to make the decision to start something.
Right.
To begin a life change. And you got to make the decision to just go and not stall and just stop on start and be like, when am I going to start? Just go. Just do it.
Yeah.
And then within doing it, move. It's like forward motion. So it became start, go, move,
That's awesome.
aka Sidney George Margison.
Right.
And so I said, if I ever do SGM, SGM could stand for any one of those things.
That's amazing. Now, what made you get into fitness?
Well, the doctor said you are going to die if you don't change. So I was, I hadn't been to the doctor in over 3 years, and I went, and he was, first thing he said to me is, "Where have you been?" No, what are you talking about? I was just here last year. He said, "No, you haven't been here in 3 years." And I said, "3 years?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "And back then I told you you need to lose weight and change your eating habits." He said, "Let's do your vitals, let's check your blood pressure." And it was through the roof. And he said to me immediately, "Are you having chest pains? Are you okay? You can have a stroke any second while we're talking."
Oh wow.
And so I said, "No, I'm good. I don't feel anything." And so, prior to that doctor's visit, I've been dealing with a lot of health issues within my family.
Okay.
And been in and out of the hospital with family members. Excuse me. And so we were dealing with that. And so when it was my turn to see the doctor, I said, okay, after going through the whole top of the year with a family crisis, I said, I don't want to put myself through what we went through, or have anyone else experience what we went through. So I said, okay, it's time. It's time. And I had a former coworker of mine that used to do road managing. He started doing fitness, and I saw him do a fitness post on Twitter. Okay. And I saw it, and I reached out to him on Twitter. I said, I think I'm ready, because I used to see him every now and then. And he used to say to me, "So whenever you're ready to start working out, let me know. Whenever you're ready." I'm like, yeah, soon, not now. And then I started going to the gym on my own, and I just was lost. You get intimidated. You walk into the gym, people are working out, you feel like everyone's staring at you, you don't know what you're doing. So I went through that for the 2 weeks, and then I just gave in and hit him on Twitter, and I said, "Help, I'm ready." And he immediately hit me back and started me on a whole fitness journey. I lost a bunch of weight, and he literally saved my life.
That's amazing. Mm-hmm. I mean, as we age, we sort of get into, like, I mean, the doctors wake us up, like,
yeah,
what are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing?
That's the same with me. I've been going. I mean, my dad has a history of kidney disease and diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so it was my turn. You know what I'm saying? And going, like, accepting it, and like accepting the changes of the way I eat, and more exercise and whatnot. It's important. It's a time. It's that time of, like, let's say like mid-30s and up.
Yeah.
Where it's just like it'll catch you. And it's just like, okay, you have a choice. You have a second, it's like a second chance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless you're going to keep doing what you're doing. And then, of course, you're not going to know when heart failure comes, because you don't feel it. But, I mean, there's little signs, but you don't know. I didn't know that I had to go to dialysis when I first found out. Like, my blood results came, and basically they told me, like, yo, you need to start dialysis. You're at 3%. I was like, 3%? I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah. And it's just, and so that week, I mean, when I found out, I started getting sick. But then I thought it was because it was the pandemic, that I was inside all the time. I thought, it was just normal, just being tired all the time.
Oh, this was recent.
Yeah, this is recent. So, I was in Abu Dhabi. I had to move back to Brooklyn to to regain, like, to do the dialysis and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm doing fine now.
Good.
I think in 6 months, like, 6 months, 6 months I can get a transplant, so it's good. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just realizing what you said, like, you have that choice. You have that choice to change, and you can do it, And if it takes exercise and
Yeah.
what you do, fitness, that's great, man.
Yeah.
That is really great. And you look great. Like I said before, you look great, and that's what it is. And I know you probably feel great as well.
Yeah, yeah. I
Like,
mean, you have to take control. We put so much time and energy into other people and developing, at least, within what I do for a living. And I literally take care of people,
right.
and so we neglect ourselves
Mm, yeah,
and we fall to the wayside while we're propping up this other person.
right.
And it's not just surface what you see. We are literally therapists to these artists. And so it's not just getting the press; it's communicating, talking to them, and navigating all these things. And so, you do everything 9 to 5 to make sure that they're good
Right, definitely.
while you're decaying.
Right. And then you have to sort of have that balance within self
Absolutely.
so you can be all right.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of hip hop artists that passed away recently was due to health issues.
Yeah.
I wish, like, there was more, you know, um, like information out there. Like they would, like, have more shows about asthma awareness or diabetes or
I feel like it's
problems.
I,
It's like,
I agree. I agree, but I feel like it's just more awareness now, especially within the pandemic
mhm.
and with social media and you seeing artists and celebrities or athletes showing their regimen and being more vulnerable and letting you know what's going on in their lives and even dealing with mental health. And so there's more awareness to the other side of it.
Right, right. Because
Mhm.
people, I mean, like artists would hide it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you never know.
But now it's in their music.
You know what I
Now
mean?
they're rapping about it.
I mean, rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. We didn't expect that.
Yeah.
He hid that. He was like, "No, I'm gonna keep going." I was like,
Yeah.
"Wow!" Like, it's just like I guess, we have to. I mean, there has to be awareness within the music. You can have awareness in the
Yeah.
music as well. You know what I'm saying? Or
Ab-
in any form of art. So
Absolutely.
that'll inspire. Music inspires people. So if you inspire people to be healthy, they're gonna be healthy.
Yeah.
That's it, man. Totally
Agreed.
right, man. So with this SGM, you have merch, right? You sell T-shirts and stuff.
Yes, I do. I do.
Okay,
It's
so
not
I mean, tell people where they can find your merch and
well. It's
information
on
on your fitness.
Asakiwi. I mean, I'm sorry. It's on. The link is in my bio in my Start Go Move Instagram feed.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how long I'm gonna continue. It was just something people kept asking me to do it, and so I did it. But that's a whole business and that's a whole thing to
Right.
really, because you just got to keep creating and keep coming out with lines and
But
so
no, it's dope. I mean, who knows? Probably after this interview, you get a lot more sales than
yeah,
probably. You don't know. You got a
yeah,
lot of health buffs, like really out there, being like, "Yo, I believe in this brand, so I'll put it on."
yeah, yeah. I mean, my whole thing is just to share my whole fitness journey and just to show people if I can do it from where I came from, anybody
Mm-hmm.
can do it. Because I played no sports. I wasn't active at all. I didn't start my fitness journey until my 40s.
Right.
So my body is just like, what are you doing? We don't know. We've never been active. And so, all this time later, I'm super active. So people who get to know me now think that I've been this way my whole life. No, this has just been within the last 10 years.
Right. Now that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So this pandemic, right? I talk about this with everybody. Has changed a lot of our lives because we
Absolutely.
stay in. or when we go out, we got a mask, and a lot of things are not, you know, of course, you're in the industry, so you go to industry parties. None of that's going on.
No,
A lot of concerts, none of
no.
that's going on. What's keeping you busy during these times?
Okay, that's the number one question.
Yes.
One thing, dealing with the pandemic, one thing everyone needs, everyone in this earth, is escape and entertainment.
Right.
And so we've been fortunate within this pandemic to be to prosper because people need to be entertained to take them away from what's happening. And so, what form of entertainment? It's music.
Mm-hmm.
And so people are consuming more music. You know, in the beginning, we had to make an adjustment and really acclimate to being home and get past that. And then as soon as we start to get not comfortable, but used to being home, we had the uprising with George Floyd and Black Lives Matter. And so once that settled, and artists felt more comfortable in going in the studio and creating music again, people wanted it. People like, give me more. They're consuming it faster.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have to produce. And so we got to create more content, create more music, and keep delivering. And so artists are working. They're not performing.
Right.
Touring has shut down, but this is the time where an artist can be an artist and really dig into their creative bag
Definitely.
and really produce art. And so that's what they're doing. And so we're tasked to market and promote it. So
Okay.
so they was like, oh, everyone, the world stopped, so everyone's home for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, and most of these artists, they're making music in their homes. They
Right.
don't need a big production studio. They're everything is virtual. Everything is on your laptop, on your computer, on your tablets, and they're creating music and they forward it to us, and we do what we do, and
Right.
we give it to the public, and so and the public is consuming it at a faster, higher rate. It's
Yes.
that's what's been keeping us busy.
Nah, that's great. I mean, that's awesome because, like, you're not gonna let you're not gonna let it stop you,
Right,
even if like Twitch or Instagram is your platform. So
right,
like D Nice did. D Nice was
right.
definitely
But
a
what's at what's
participant.
at the center? What's at the core of it?
Right.
Music.
Music. Yeah, definitely.
Right,
Definitely.
it's music.
And plus, like, it's not like they don't have time.
Right, right,
So you have all this time being like,
right.
okay, what am I gonna do while I'm at home?
Right.
Oh, I
Remember
can
in the
create
beginning of the pandemic, it was all about nostalgia.
Yes.
That was the height of D Nice and all the other DJs
Mhm.
playing old and familiar and comfort music.
Yeah.
And so then it had to transition into new content.
Mhm.
And so now we're in that space where everyone's like, okay, I need a new album. When is this person dropping? When is this one doing? And so that's where we're like, okay, we're in the lab cooking. Everyone's working and trying to crank out all this stuff.
Now that's great. I mean, you just imagine before, okay, just what life was before pre pandemic, right? You had to like schedule these artists to go create, to go in the studio,
Yeah,
do this, that, and the fourth,
yeah,
and it took time
yeah.
schedule.
We had to pull them off of their schedule from
Yeah.
touring, and said, no, you need to do this block of time recording music.
Right.
Now they're recording constantly.
Yeah. And that's great. That's amazing. Like, and like even independent artists, they started recording a lot of things, and since the internet is a platform they can use, they just do it. So
Yeah.
we even put out an
Yes.
album.
Yes.
Got the boys back together and be like, look,
Yes.
let's put out an album.
And this is the time. That's why I said, if you're a creative, create.
Yeah,
There's
definitely.
always going to be an audience for whatever it is your art is.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
just have to produce. That's it. And so that's why I said D Nice gave everybody a model.
A model, yep.
A model of the blueprint. So it's like, okay, you're in there. This is what he's doing. We're seeing him succeed. We're seeing him do step by step. He does the show. He starts getting endorsement deals. He starts being more visible. It's just like, okay, you all have these platforms. Produce something. You have the audience.
Yeah.
So you have to capitalize on. If you got 100 people logging into you every night just to see you talk, now you need to produce something to turn that into profit.
Right. Hey, man. He did it right. He showed you right in your face.
Yeah, he showed you.
This is what I'm doing. I stuck. Now look.
Versus.
Yeah, versus.
Versus is free. Versus. Now it's like they just went to the bank with Versus.
It was a mistake. It was just like they were like, yo, I'm a better producer than you. What?
Yes,
The next thing you know, we're like, wait, we could do this with other people.
Yes.
Amazing.
And that's the beauty of the creativity that comes out of these things. When we're given this adversity, we knock down for a minute, but then we're like, okay, we're in it. What are we gonna do? How are we gonna turn lemons, into lemonade?
Right.
It's just like we're creatives. Let's dig in our bag and create this art and just do what we do.
That's crazy. Like, it's like the blueprints are right in front of you. So
right in front of you,
anybody can do it. Anybody that loves what they do,
whatever it is you want to do.
Yeah, definitely, man. That's crazy. So I've seen you on IG DJing. This guy plays dope music, by the way.
Which I haven't done in a long time. I really need to get back at it.
I've seen you interact with the people in your chat. Being like, what do you think of this song? Like, people were like, oh, I like it, or no, I'm not feeling it. But it's just you interacting, DJing. How did you get inspired to do that?
Okay, I got inspired by, again, D Nice, Dion Cole, the comedian, Mad Skills, all these other DJs that was DJing during the pandemic. And I'm sitting there, and music always changes my mood. Like if I'm feeling anxious or depressed or whatever it is, I tap into music to take me out of it. Right. And I don't remember what the situation was, but I was in a funk during the pandemic, and D Nice was on or somebody else was on, and I said, I don't profess to be a DJ. Okay. I play music off my phone, right? So I don't want to disrespect the DJs. But I said, I have a vast collection of music. I love a variety of different things. And I have a huge playlist. Right. I said, I can play music off my phone. So I was in a funk and I was on the couch and I said, get up. I literally get up and just go play.
Do it.
Play. And because I'm not a DJ, I've never DJ'd, I don't have the skills, right? Mm-hmm. And so I don't know how to blend and transition. I don't have a turntable and a keyboard. I don't have any. I have a phone, an iPad, and a phone. And so I would play my songs. I set up my little system, have my little Beats by my Pill Beats speaker and a phone and my iPad, and I would just play my playlist. And because I don't know how to DJ, I don't know how to transition. I don't know how to flow into songs. And so I would just stop one song, start the next song, start. And so it was like a hard break, right? And so it was a running joke within the room with the audience saying if they would laugh, I'll put the next song, the song would just stop and it's like, boom, here's the next song. And it was a joke and it was like hard breaks. So I said, that's right. I said, if you want real DJing, go to D Nice, go to those other people. Here, it's hard breaks, right? It's
Right,
heartbreak.
right.
And so
Hey,
I coined the room Club Hard Break. Not heartbreak, but hard break. And I'm DJ Hard Breaks.
well, that's very honest, man. And what's great about it is if you do keep doing it, like, I mean, okay, so DJs, of course, have to know how to blend and mix or whatever. They DJ, right? But the most important thing is if you can create a vibe and people actually stay and listen to you, then you're doing something right. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's on your phone, and you have
I
a
had
great, I know
hardcore
you
10.
have a great like taste of music.
My
But,
hardcore 10 people, we will rock out.
I'm just saying, 10 people,
We
guess
would
what?
rock out.
Those
Yeah.
10 people will stay in and be
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh,
Yes.
he's playing these joints. Like,
Yeah.
I haven't heard this joint. And they're like, if you have people that actually listen to you, then you're doing something right, man. And you can just imagine if you do end up getting turntables or whatnot later on, or like whatchamacallit, a little um
Yeah.
you
It's
know
it's so funny. It started to snowball, and even the company Atlantic had asked me to DJ at one of the virtual company
here you
parties,
go.
and I'm like, and so they're asking me, "Oh, what kind of equipment do you have? What kind of setup do we need?" And I said, "I don't have equipment. I have a phone." They was like,
Okay,
"What?"
look, I'm gonna
I
tell you,
said, they were like,
controllers are cheap, man.
yeah, they were like, I'm sorry, Cindy, you can't DJ the company party off a phone. So I was like, okay, if you say so, I'll go back to my club heartbreak, but that's what I've been doing
Right.
on my phone.
I mean, no, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm saying if you ever want to,
Yeah.
get yourself,
It's just
get
that,
yourself a controller.
life
Oh.
and time has gotten away from me, but I want to get back to it because it was so much fun. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. And what I really it morphed into, I used to play my own verses, like give people flowers that were not getting recognized by the others. And so, and then I started to play new music because during that time, everybody was focused on nostalgia and playing the oldies and classics. And so I said, yo, there's a lot of people out here making new music, and legacy artists that are still out here doing it, but people don't know because they're not, in the top 40 or whatever. So I said, let me highlight this new music every week, every Friday. So I said, let me start playing these music and get people aware, and it turned into a thing.
Well, you're doing something right, man. You're definitely doing something right. And like I said, like keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? But if you ever get a controller, that's it. You're gonna be the super. You're gonna be from
I downloaded the DJ app, and that's when I started blending.
That's what I'm saying. It starts from there.
Of course, all my music is on Spotify, right? I don't have it on physical. It's so I stream, and so in the middle of the summer, the DJ app said, next 2 months we're discontinuing any third-party apps. So, and I'm like, that's my whole DJ gig. I played through Spotify. What am I gonna do? I don't have these.
You got to start collecting music, brother.
I mean, I have, but I'm not doing physical and downloads. I was like, it's all streaming. So when I go back, it'll be back to the hardcore hard breaks again.
I mean, if ever, like I said, if you ever wanted to, I mean, well, you and I know this. Like, you can get music. Of course, you can get music.
No, I have it. I have all.
I'm like,
yeah, I have them. They're all in storage and at my parents' house.
Right.
I have those physical records.
Right.
I'm not. That's a whole job. That's what. I'm not a DJ. Like, that's a whole thing.
But you can see. You
I,
had your
if I wanted,
company ask you to
yeah, we can
DJ
do
for them.
anything.
That's how it starts.
We're phenomenal people. We can do anything.
Exactly, exactly. But still, they
Yeah,
ask you to DJ. You
yeah,
know how many more opportunities you will get after that if
yeah,
you took out your records from
yeah,
your whatever,
yeah.
your basement or whatever. Like, you know what I'm
Maybe
saying?
this
I don't know.
maybe
Like,
this weekend. Maybe you're
yeah,
inspiring.
yeah.
Maybe this
But
weekend
it's
I'll go
like,
back.
you
I'll
just have
dust
to
off.
get inspired to do it. And then once you put those two records together and blend it, and then you make it sound good,
Yeah,
it's not gonna stop.
yeah.
And then
I
you're
mean,
gonna be like,
look at the
whoa,
young kid, Amorphous. Brilliant.
hey, I'm just saying. I'm
No,
just saying it's there. It's
it,
there.
it is.
It
It is.
starts with your phone. You can have this whole story like, yo,
Art.
I used to play music from my phone. What? And now look, I'm on the turntables or CDs or like controller, whatever. You have options. If you don't want to carry around records, hey, get yourself a controller.
Absolutely right.
You have to like get all those MP3s, but it takes time. But if you build it up, there you'll have like the whole blueprint right there of your sound or whatever you wanna make. I mean, that's like being around a lot of producers and stuff like that really got me into like collecting 45s. I went to Osaka, man. I went to Osaka, Japan, and got crazy. So I went to this record store, right? And the first thing you saw was like all these records, but then they had this little pamphlet of all the record stores in town. I was like, oh my God. So I told my wife, I was like, we're going to all of these stores.
Wow.
So we went to all of it. It was different. It was different, but some of them looked like Tower Records. Some of them
Wow.
were like hip hop. Some of them
That's
like,
awesome.
all these records. And I was looking for 45s. That time I was like collecting all 45s. Oh my gosh. I was
Yeah,
like,
I can imagine.
yo, yeah, we could have gotten broke like
Yeah,
before we left back. So
yeah.
yeah,
I
so
can
I had
imagine.
to get like some sort of control in a way. But I bought a lot of 45s. But that's the thing about like loving this music. You just go out there, even if you go to other countries, you're like, whoa, like they got this. You just imagine I got an Ohio Players 45, but it's in Japanese.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? It's in
yeah.
Japanese. The cover is different, and it's just like, well, all these Prince joints. I was like, oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
yeah. Once you go down that rabbit hole, it doesn't stop. You
Oh
just
yeah,
keep
man.
going and going
Oh
and
yeah. That's
going.
and I'm glad vinyl is still like popular there. They're still producing it.
Yeah, they just sent this it's across the room, but the company just did because we don't have any Grammy events physical because of the circumstance. Grammys are this Sunday, so they sent us a virtual vinyl with all the Grammy hits on it. I was like, oh, that's pretty
That's
cool.
awesome.
For like a
That's
collector.
awesome, man.
Yeah.
It's getting back. All right, let's talk about our friend Seed Popular.
Yes.
Yes, so
Yes.
you had this talk with him.
Were you on there when we had
I
to
was
talk?
there for a little bit, but then he
Okay.
told me about it. I like kind of missed like the whole gist of it because I came in late. And I was just like, wait, what are they talking about? Like, and so Seed hits me back and being like, yo, Sydney just hit me off with all these gems and jewels. I was like, what? What are you talking about? We're talking about this. So what inspired that whole conversation where you created like see now is selling merch.
Yo, it's so my when I see him now, it's just my heart is so full. It was a spontaneous conversation. We were just on live. It might have been after a verses maybe,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just doing a recap of the show, and then I think I pulled him up, and we just started talking. And we got on the subject of just capitalizing off of what's happening right now. And again, following up on our conversation about D Nice, it's not exclusive to D Nice. I said Seed in particular. I said you have an audience. People like you, and you have an audience. So what are you doing for that audience? I said you're talented. I said you should be creating stuff. You created this moniker of See Popular. I said you should be doing something. I said you have the people coming to you. Now you have to give them something.
Right.
And it just started morphing into the what he's doing now, and just that conversation.
I mean, it's
I
amazing. I don't know what you told him, but he's
I flipped
blowing
into
up.
artist mode. It was like I'm at work, and it was like, okay, we got a project. It's like, okay, how do we promote your project? How do we take it from A to B to C to D? And it's like, okay, C, what are we doing? Let's get it. You're a super supporter of D Nice, which is beautiful, but it's like, okay, it's the D Nice effect. D Nice has created an opportunity for a lot of other people.
Yes,
that
he has.
wouldn't have had the opportunity to get those numbers. And Seed is one of those people that benefited from the attention of being in his room, D Nice's room. So I said, now you have a platform and an audience. Now you need to produce something. You need to make something.
Yo, that's really dope. Like forever. Okay, so for everyone that's watching this, yes, I love Tangerine joint. Go on See Popular IG that's in his bio, his shop. He has a lot of great designs, and thanks to this brother right here for the words and wisdoms that inspired him to do it. Now he's trying to inspire us to do the same thing.
That's how it works. We all inspire one another,
which is great, which is amazing. That's why I needed to ask you, because of course we're doing that whole amphibian merch thing. We have an amphibian.
And I love it.
It's like, but those words you said to him, which inspired him to do what he's doing now and being more business minded, like it's just amazing. You created a beautiful monster. Which is dope.
It's a beautiful thing. And also see him come out of his shell.
Yes.
Because he's very introverted and was very quiet and shy, and to see him talking and doing interviews.
My gosh.
And when I saw him put out that video and the record, I'm like, because I've always been pushing him, like, see, rap, do something, put out a song.
No, because this is what you know him as.
Yeah, that's for. Yes, a dope MC.
He looked like Method Man before. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Right, and I'm just like, you're sitting here. I'm like, we're in club quarantine, and they don't even know that you're an artist.
Right.
Why?
It's funny thing you say he's shy, but when we hung out as Rule 4080, he was not shy.
Within the crew and your circle, you're one thing, but to everyone else, he's mysterious and he's quiet, and they don't really know him. And I was like, yo, come on. I was like, spit some bars.
We hid our rap past from a lot of people when we did Rule 4080. So everyone thought I was just like just a photographer, which I was a photographer. Seed was the networker, and we would always network around different events. We got into a lot of events, which was dope. We kept it going for the blog, right? But no one ever knew. So then when we put out this project, and people were like, "What? Like, wait, See got a video out?" I was like, "Yep, this is how I knew See before."
Yes.
So, yeah, man. That's great, man.
Why not? Let's
talk about your podcast, called Watch Party.
Oh, what? You got the whole resume, huh?
Yes, I do. Let's talk about Watch Party. What is that podcast about? And
So is this a
or
bunch
for
of?
those that don't know, tell them where they can see it.
Yes. Okay. I do a podcast. It's called Watch Party, and it's a bunch of friends and I. We get together and we review movies. I'm a big, huge
Mhm.
movie head fan. I love science fiction, and I watch everything black, basically. I watch everything, and so we would have conversations about whatever came out on television, just within ourselves.
Right.
And again, during the pandemic, everyone's home, everyone's being creative, and the crew were like, "Yo, why don't we do this?" Two of them got together and they said, "Yo, why don't we just do a podcast?" And we were like, "Of what? What?" And it's like your same conversation that we're having here. Let's broadcast it. So I said, "Okay, okay, we're having a conversation." Every time a new movie, a new TV show, a record comes out, we're sitting there debating it, and
Mhm.
so we said, "Okay, if these other people can do it, I can do it. We can do it." And so we decided to put together, and they called it Watch Party, and we do
That's
it
great.
every Sunday night at 9. And it's live on Facebook. It's live. It's on the Hitlist network
Hit
on
List Network.
Facebook, on YouTube, and
Okay.
it's live on Sunday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard. And then it's recorded and it's posted. So most people see it when we post it. And it's
They get
myself.
to chat while you guys are talking.
Yeah, it's live. And
Yeah, it's
so
live.
there's people chatting in the room. It's myself, Brian St. John, Lorena Matthews, and Lydia Andrews, and we make up the watch party. And
There you
we
go.
talk about current events, but we mainly talk about TV shows and movies. So we're off this Sunday. So if you're looking for us this Sunday, you're not going to see us because the Grammys are on Sunday night. So we'll be back, and we'll be talking about Snowfall and Falcon and Winter Soldier,
Yeah, that's coming up.
and whatever. The
Nah, that's great because, like,
documentary,
it's
whatever comes up.
important. That conversation that you have with your friends,
It's the best.
and it's like relatable to
Yeah,
everybody. Everybody
yeah,
watches shows. Everybody have their own opinion about
yeah.
it.
So we're just giving you a little window into how we cut up.
Yeah.
How we, people may look at us and like, do they even get along? It's like, yeah, this is how we talk to each other. It's like,
Nah, that's
it's
awesome.
real conversation.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. So you're a fan of comic book films. I notice.
Yes, I'm a kid.
Hmm?
I'm eternal kid. I'm Peter Pan.
Peter Pan.
Yeah.
So with that, I mean, with the films and stuff, were you also into comic books or?
Absolutely. I just bought an independent book today, which I didn't know was just written. I saw an independent post of a character on Instagram, and I said I'll support it. It was black owned, and it came today, and there's no graphics, there's no artwork. And I'm like,
Ah,
it's just text. I'm like, what? Okay, that's
like,
one.
okay, you're gonna have to imagine these words.
Right. I'm just like, it's a novel. Okay. But anyway, yeah, I am. I've always been. That was my thing as a child, and
Mhm.
it's continued. They thought I would grow out of it. I'm like, no, it's only gotten stronger and more intense. And now I dress up. When Comic Con was physical, I dress up as characters. I would
There you
go.
go.
Yeah, I just bought a costume. I ordered a costume within the pandemic, and it came last week. Batman, because there's a new black Batman.
What? Yeah, there is.
Batman is
There
black,
is.
and so I said I had to get that costume. So I got that. So you'll probably see me debut it next week when Zack Snyder's Justice League cut comes
Oh
out.
yeah.
I'll probably be wearing that.
Yo, that's dope, man. That's real dope. So you buy costumes. You can actually be a superhero. You do that
I am a
cosplay stuff,
superhero.
man. You just go out and dress up like Batman.
Yes,
We'll be looking at you like,
yes,
yeah, that Batman.
yes, yes, yes.
Yo, that's dope. Um, what shows? What
What am I
shows?
watching right now?
Yeah, what shows are you watching right now? Like
Okay.
superhero shows, let's say.
Uh, Black Lightning, which is in its fourth season and its final season is ending. Which
Oh,
I just saw. What a little quick thing that I just wanted to mention is I'm watching a brand new show. It's called Delilah on OWN. Just a regular family, and there's a little boy talking to a woman, and he's sitting on his bed and he's playing with a toy. And I glimpse at the toy, and it's Black Lightning from the TV show.
oh,
And I said, "Wait, am I seeing that? It's not the same network. Black Lightning is on CW. This is on OWN. And it's not Batman, Spider-Man, Superman, even Black Panther. He's holding a doll of Black Lightning. And I'm like, look at that representation. Now they took a fictitious show and now it's within another show that is not even a superhero. This is a family drama show, and the
right.
child is playing with. I'm like, look at that. And I said,
Awesome.
I'm the only one that caught it.
I caught it.
Right, it's for me. They did that scene for me.
They knew you were watching. Like, let's
They
go
knew
get
I
it.
was watching. Ah, this little.
Let's go get it. We got
that's
Black
my
Lightning.
nerd. Yes,
That's
but
crazy.
Black Lightning, Superman and Lois, phenomenal.
Right.
The new series Superman and Lois, phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
WandaVision,
Oh,
phenomenal.
yes.
And we're gearing up next week will be the debut of Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah.
I love what all Marvel is doing. I love why people had like different views of it because they didn't get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like from the first episode to like
Yeah.
fourth, and then they got really into it after. But I was just like, yo, it was just building.
Yeah. I'm a fan all day. You put science fiction and superpowers in anything, I'm watching it.
Yeah.
It could be
Nah, that's dope.
budget.
That's real dope.
I'm
Like,
watching
yeah, nah, a lot of shows like that are coming out now, just that are comic book related. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, it's
and even comic books now too. I go to comic book stores here and just check out what's going on. Like, I
yeah.
bought this. Well, I watched this show on IG called "Show Off Your Gems" by Destroy, right? And it's a collector's show where everyone show off their collectibles, right? So someone, this artist, he drew this comic book called Bitterroot,
Okay.
and what was dope is that one of the covers is, you remember the Juice poster?
Yeah.
So they did a homage to the Juice poster to make it look like Juice. So it was dope, like the comic book characters, and it's like you know how Marvel did those, like
Yeah.
did the hip hop covers.
Yes.
It was sort of like that. So it was a homage to Juice, like So if you ever get to see the comic book, it's called Bitterroot.
Bitter.
You'll like it.
OOT root.
Yes, root.
Bitterroot. Okay.
Bitterroot. So
Got it.
yeah, man.
I will Google it.
Some suggestible to everyone in you, Sydney. For the so like for the youth that watches this or knows of you, what would you pass on to, like, to them that want to do what you do?
That want to do what I do, that want to do anything that they dream of. You just
Yes.
have to sit down. You gotta really decide and do it, and have the courage to take it out of your brain that it's not just a thought, it's not just a wish, that you have to actually actualize it. And you don't need to be in the field, and people like, well, how do I don't know anyone. How do I do that? You know, now with being in the pandemic and we all have we're all on our computers and our phones. Everyone, no matter who you are 2 degrees of separation.
Mm,
2 degrees separation.
there you go.
Mostly everyone has social media. People, they may not answer a phone call, a text, or a email, but you slide into someone's DM, they're going to see it, and we see that they see it.
Right.
And that's the best way. Anybody, anything that you want to do, you see someone doing something that you're interested in, hit them up,
Yeah.
ask a question, and say, I'm curious. You don't have to have all this resume and accolades behind you. Ask the question and say, I'm interested in what you're doing. And, I have a question. Would you mind talking to me or corresponding with me? And just get into their messages. And then look for people that are in the field that you want to do and see how they're doing it. And you just take a stab at doing it on your level.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be a publicist, you don't have to start out repping the most the biggest name person. It's within, like, let's break it down to how we all met. I was in college.
Right.
You all were the talent, right? And so I couldn't do what you all did. So I said, how can I contribute to this? And so I can make flyers. I can make laminates. I can, promote them. I can do what I can do. And that's the same thing you can do on your level. If you're a student, if you're in college, or if you're post-college, we all have creative friends. Right. We all do. We all know someone that wants to be something.
Yes.
You just tap into those people and start promoting them on a local level. And then it starts to build. You start meeting more creatives and they want you to rep them in whatever, if it's marketing, promotion, publicity, whatever it is, management. And you use your talents and you research the job that you want, and you learn whether it's you going back to school, going to a trade, whatever it is, you have to master that art of that profession. Mm-hmm. And then, while you're still having on hands grassroots experiences, just reaching out to people and talking to people. Just like this. Yes,
definitely.
Yeah.
That's definitely some jewels you just dropped. I mean, it's not hard, but it is. But if you work hard,
it's just you need someone to talk it through.
Yes.
You already have the knowledge, but you need someone to just lay it out for you and to speak out what you were thinking, so that it makes it real.
There you go.
That's it.
Nah, that's great. What you just said right now is just, yeah. Listen to this brother right here, for real. Listen. So what's next for Asakiwi?
Sky's the limit. Sky's is whatever I think of. Tomorrow I may wake up and want to be an astronaut, because now that civilians are able to go to the moon. I don't know. I also do photography. Like it's whatever. Like I just tap into my creative side and I say, oh, I want to do this. I see things that people are doing and I was like, I can do that.
Right.
Just the other day, I was at a friend's house and we were watching a film and the words were on the bottom of the screen, the thing, and I was reading them, secretly in my next life, or maybe say the next thing, I'm also an actor at heart. And so I was reading the lines out loud and they're like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm reading, I'm acting. I want to see if I can do it like them.
No, but you can though.
Yeah, right.
You can.
Right. And so I was like, yeah, I can do that. I can say it with emotion. I can do a feeling. I can do that.
Yo, that's great. Like, yeah, sky's the limit. That's a
Sky's
great.
the limit.
That's a great answer.
So yeah, I'll let you.
Like,
I'll let you know when I think of the next thing. I said, "This is the next thing."
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's there.
It's there.
An actor, man.
Yeah, and I pull inspiration from everyone, everything.
Right. Nah,
I'll watch this back and I'll be like, "Yo, I just got inspired."
Yep. No, that's great, man. That's great. So where can people find you on social media?
On social, you can find me Asakiwi on Instagram and Twitter. ASAKIWI. And for fitness related content, you can find me at Start Go Move on Instagram. All one word.
How about your DJing?
It's all under Asakiwi.
There you go.
I have to go back.
There you go.
I gotta go back to DJing.
Yes, we'll see you.
Hopefully they haven't taken my DJ name, but yeah.
Yeah, like, I mean, that's great. So many talents. And then, of course, within this pandemic, nothing can stop you. You know what I'm saying? First of all, you have all the time, and then you have all the things that you can scope out that you wanted to do. So it's amazing, man. Yo, absolutely. This is great having you on Fresh Combos. I thank you, my brother. Like, this is a great conversation. I know everyone's going to love it. And
thank you for this opportunity. It was great. And just
thank you. Come on, man. Thank you.
We're thanking each other.
Thanking each other. Yeah, thank you. I mean, we haven't seen each other in like 20 years, and it's just like
we still
haven't, but like, we're here.
We're here.
Yeah, man. Nah, that's great. And I hope everyone has learned something from this. The knowledge and wisdom you gave to C Popular. To if you do follow C Popular, you'll see what I mean. You know what I mean? With that, make sure you check out www.amphibians.com. It's amphibians.com. We have merch. Well, not this one, but like this is on C Popular. But we have our logo in the background. We got shirts and a lot of stuff, and we have a lot of music, a lot of video. I mean, subscribe to our YouTube, Amphibians YouTube. We got a lot of music videos there. We're coming out with a project for Volume 2 that's coming out, but I don't know how much I'm supposed to say about that, but I am. So it's all right. And make sure you check out all the Fresh Convos either on IG and YouTube. And don't be surprised, this is all going to come together as like a documentary form. So yes, and once again, thank you, Asakiwi, for this, and peace.
Thank you, man. God bless.
God bless.
Living, my spirit in the living, my spirit in the living, my spirit in the living, my spirit in the